In life, there are times when you have to choose one of two things and let go of the other. It's often called the ultimate choice. For example, there's the famous question, if your mother and your lover were both drowning at the same time, which one would you save? There's also a similar story about the Cal Needs board. A ship you are on sinks, and as you cling to a floating piece of wood, you drift and call for help. Another passenger tries to cling to the board too, but it can't support both. To save himself, he pushes the other passenger away, resulting in his sole survival. That's the story. Consider whether you would also attempt to acquire that board, Mr. Minoru. What if the other person was someone very important to you? What would you do then? A courageous high school student was asked the question and responded by empathizing with someone who prioritizes another person's life over their own. Here's how they arrived at that conclusion. Kobe City, Kita Ward, male high school student fatally injured on October 4th, 2010 around 10:50 p.m. He encountered the other party involved in the incident on a road in Kita Ward, Kobe City, Hyogo Prefecture. Taisei Izumi, a second-year high school student who was 16 at the time, was stabbed by someone, suffered fatal injuries, and died. Now, about 9.5 years have passed since the incident occurred in 2010. Even now, the perpetrator has not been caught and the case remains unsolved. It is still an unresolved incident. Taisei and his girlfriend were sitting next to a vending machine, enjoying a conversation like any couple. When his girlfriend looked up, she noticed a young man standing about 10 meters away watching them. She felt uneasy and wondered who he was. When she mentioned this to Taisei, he replied casually, saying it was probably nothing. That's right. Immediately after that, the man silently stood up and started approaching the two of them. Looking closely, they saw that he was holding a small knife in his hand. "Run!" Taisei shouted. His girlfriend ran for her life. A few minutes later, she automatically turned back. Taisei was found unconscious and covered in blood about 70 meters from the vending machine at the intersection. Despite being rushed to the hospital, it was too late to save him. Death was confirmed. There were multiple stab wounds to the head and neck, and it was clearly a case of intentional murder. The police immediately began their investigation. There were no signs that Taisei had been robbed of any valuables. After a thorough investigation, no motive or suspect was found. Despite the lack of eyewitnesses, likely due to the time and quiet residential location, it was not a place where someone could easily escape undetected. About a week after the incident, a knife that looked suspicious was found about 109 yards southwest of the scene. Was it related to the case? According to the investigation headquarters, this location had already been checked right after the incident, and the knife was not seen there at that time. It's unfortunate, but there were no further clues. No bloodstains or fingerprints were found on it. It is believed that the culprit wiped off any fingerprints or bloodstains after using it and then discarded it. The investigation headquarters questioned about 14,000 people door to door. According to her testimony, the man was estimated to be in his late 20s to 30. He was about 160 to 5 feet 7 inches tall, slightly overweight with thick eyebrows and narrow eyes. He had distinctive features like a noticeable mole on his face. The case began 2 years after the incident, when a composite sketch of the suspect was released following the discovery of a knife, believed to be the murder weapon, being sold at a nearby second-hand store. This store previously released the identity and receipt of the last person who purchased the knife. Despite this special investigation reward system, no valuable information has been obtained, leading to the suspect's arrest. Mr. Tai, the youngest of three, has an older brother and sister. Mr. Sato, the father, says Tai was a child who would always make everyone in the family smile with his jokes at the dinner table and enjoyed making those around him happy. Tai's sudden disappearance from home left our family feeling like the light had gone out. The daily news reports were overwhelming. It's difficult to express our sadness in words, but I wanted to share how we feel. There were also reporters who asked insensitive questions. Even though there was no progress in the investigation, the family's hearts were weighed down by sadness. In the midst of this, the family tried to find any clues they could, searching for information on large online bulletin boards and Tai's old blog. However, much of what was written there was unreliable. Some even speculated about his death, and of course, there were many malicious rumors. There were also voices online questioning Tai's profile and the timeline of the incident, as reported in the news. There were also many baseless speculations written about things like his dyed hair and the age of his girlfriend. For the family, reading these things was truly painful. Mr. Sato says, "Please don't hurt my child anymore. It's just so sad that people are saying things without any basis or evidence." On the day after the incident, more than 300 classmates gathered at our house to say their final goodbyes to Tai-san, and they shared their memories of him with us. Friends also came, sharing stories about his dispute mediation and the time he climbed a tree in the park. There were also videos that friends had taken with their cell phones. Seeing Sato-san living on in the hearts of his friends and the way his mother carried herself gave me strength. At the same time, I renewed my strong determination to make sure the culprit would be caught, and I left it in the hands of the police. So instead, I made my own flyer. With the cooperation of classmates, I distributed the flyers around the scene. I was grateful to my classmates who helped me, but seeing how my son was living on in them, there were times when I felt overwhelmed with emotion. Even now, the police continue to investigate the case with a team of more than 20 officers. This crime cannot be described as random. Since the knife was always in his possession and was found broken at a location close to the scene about a week later, it is unlikely that the crime was committed by someone living in the area at the time. Nearly 10 years have passed since the incident occurred, and although it is unlikely that the perpetrator still lives nearby, I sincerely hope that the criminal will be apprehended as soon as possible. I also pray from the bottom of my heart that the wishes of the bereaved family who want to know the truth will be fulfilled. Thank you very much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.